To be a musician of any genre in this day and age is both exciting and a bit daunting at times. The pace at which the world is changing, in all ways including technology, social behavior, and culture, really affects how musicians make music, make a living, and make an impact. With the growth and popularity of platforms like YouTube, videos have taken form as a new kind of stage for any artist to showcase their work. Among the best I've seen, utilizing all the potential possibilities of these modern forms, is the work of Andrew Huang. Not only does his music span a multitude of styles and genres, but he constantly expands the boundaries of traditional music performance and production with his skills as a multi-instrumentalist, vocalist, producer, composer, and sound designer. What also stands out about his music is his endless stream of innovative and creative ways of making music, whether it's to turn all kinds of ordinary objects into instruments in his song challenges, perform impressive feats such as rapping without the letter E, making a MIDI unicorn, or his use of modular synthesizers and all kinds of other devices to invent new sound worlds. Behind his brilliance is a lot of passion, endless hard work, strategy, and a good heart.
Every morning I wake up and I'm excited to make some new music.
I was lucky enough to chat with him recently about a variety of topics related to his career as a musician, YouTube personality, and some of his thoughts on being a musician in these current times.
I want to talk to you about that tempo change. I'm still just a guy uploading YouTube videos. I didn't get into video until several years ago, but I've been doing music my whole life, and it's been cool to have a completely new dimension to explore creativity in.
Are you at a point where you consider that whole thing, the video aspect of it, your instrument?
Yeah, I think that's a key part of the experience of so many of the things that I create. And at the very beginning, I kind of felt like, well, it's not pure music or whatever. But, eventually I kind of realized that was sort of just a construction anyway. There are times when a piece of music to me is just that oral experience, and then other projects where it's just so intertwined with the visual that it really, neither could stand on their own. Pop, pop, it's showtime, 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 showtime. Guess who's... So one great trick that I learned that I just is such a habit to me now is that you always should have a bigger thing going that you can procrastinate, and you fill all the procrastination time with smaller stuff. So I'm always avoiding working on something that's harder or bigger, and I avoid it by working on something that's easier. So it feels easier to be working on whatever I'm working on. I have buffers built into almost everything that I work on, but those buffers are actually the main chunk of work on a different project. So because I work in so many different genres and with so many different approaches, if I want to take a break from writing a folksy guitar song, I can go into editing a vocal on an EDM track or something, and it's like a completely different feeling and mindset, and it doesn't feel like more work in a way. It's quite rare for me to have a day where there's only one project that I'm working on. That happens a few times a year. It's usually like if there's a big shoot that needs to happen, a lot of different stuff has to happen within the same time frame on the same set, whatever. That'll be a full day dedicated to a project. Most recently, I did some Instagram stories around this, breaking down my vocal production process, but I'm working on this really poppy song, and so that necessitates a lot of vocal production. So it's like multiple layers of vocals that were already recorded, but I had to clean them up, tune them, find the right reverb for each one, and then just so many steps. So that was like an 8-hour day of just touching up and polishing vocals.
I can't get over how big this tripod is.
I think for me, all work is also practice in that sense. I think I didn't get good at making YouTube videos by editing things and trying to do the same edit over and over, but just because I made a YouTube video twice a week for over a year, and all of that was practice for the next one. And I'm releasing these things, but they're both the practice and the product. And then we're back to our original sound. We're really lucky, I think, in this day and age. There's so many bad things you could say about the cycle of endless content and that whole idea, but we're also lucky that we can release something that's completely off the cuff, or that's half finished, or that's not even something that we're willing to pursue more, but it's just like, oh, this was a fun thing that I tried, I can throw it out there. Other people can connect with it or get something out of it, or it's just I'm in their feed again, reminding them to go back to my YouTube channel or whatever. And I think without the instant distribution that the internet gave us, we couldn't have that level of sharing.
Right.
And so a lot of the things that maybe are a product for me now would have just been practice back in the day. It would have been like, oh, I'm iterating on all these different ideas, I'm trying stuff out. Here's the best possible version of this that I could release, because I know I'm going to have to put time and money and energy into just marketing that for it to be successful. And now it's just like, oh, I'll press a button and 5,000 people will like this. We're still, for the most part, strangers sharing stuff with strangers, but I think there's a deeper level of connection there. You just get to see someone like try something. I try to put in, I've been starting to try and build in for the following week or two what I need to be working on and actually putting it in the calendar, which I think is something that a lot of freelance people go through, is like, well, I work for myself, I make my own hours, so the work will get done.
Right.
But I definitely know that projects take less time than you think, or often more time than you think, so I try to really just make blocks where I know that I need these hours. There's different stages of working on something, different stages of creativity. And so, for instance, when I'm at the point that I'm mixing a song, I'm not going to change anything about the composition. It's just, I've already made those decisions and they're completely off limits to me now. Maybe in some crazy rare case, I'll have a flash of inspiration and realize something could be completely different and better. But generally, I've already, that part is final to me. That part's finished to me already.
You're very organized. It's very systematic. Not just this, but how you approach things. It's very...
Yeah, well, I learned that over time, because there used to be a lot of like flailing around and back and forth and feeling good about putting work into something because I just tweaked things around and experimented. Being effective towards the ultimate goal of having this piece of music that I'd be proud of and ready to release took a different mindset.
We live in a society with internet, with access to information, and as musicians, we put our stuff and ourselves out there. Say that all of that was gone. No internet, no ability to have an audience. Say that you're just in a room. Would you do things differently, make things differently?
I think about this a lot, because I think there is this mistaken maybe notion that the art that we love and appreciate so much is somehow pure. It's somehow like the product of this one person who had a vision and they created it and shared it with the world. And that's true to some extent, but I think almost everything that's out there in the world for us to consume has gone through some kind of polishing, has gone through some kind of refinement to be more presentable, at least, if not more marketable, able to make more money, able to have a bigger impact. I think that the pressures of, let's just say it's capitalism, the pressures of making a product that's going to, ship, that's going to move units, that leads to like beautifully crafted pop songs, something that's incredibly catchy where every second of it has been thought through And then at the same time, I think the act of creativity is so much more enjoyable when it's freer from some of those constraints. So I think if I were completely on my own, not having an audience, a lot of that refinement would be removed. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky question.
That's a great answer.
So this Friday I leave for Boston, and it's going to be 10 days with no email, no meetings, no human contact, no social media. So I made it extra extreme for myself by saying I wasn't going to have any human contact. Like, I'm not even going to go to a grocery store and talk to a cashier. I'm planning everything in advance so that I won't actually speak with another human being. I'm going to send my wife one text a day to let her know that I'm alive still. I'm optimistic about not turning into a crazy person, but I think it'll be a challenge.
Are you as much of a workaholic as Andrew is?
I don't think there's anyone who is. Like, you're just insane. You're next level.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I work pretty hard, but like he blows everyone away.
Are you a homebody?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I have this amazing studio. So when my YouTube channel grew the most, in 2016, 2017, I guess, I was posting every Monday and every Thursday. And I was waking up every day with the sole focus of building a YouTube channel. So that was great in so many ways for growth, for training myself to be even more disciplined than I normally am with work. But it was not sustainable.
What are your goals for the channel now?
I'm figuring that out again. The channel, back in the most explosive phase of it was really about exploring all these different interesting facets of music that I just didn't think people thought about or talked about. A lot of the video work has taken me away from doing more of the music that I'd really like to do. So in some way, the music is going to take, my original music is going to take more of the focus for me. But as far as a concrete goal with what the YouTube videos are going to look like or where I hope to take them, that is TBD at this point.
I think we're lucky to be in this generation.
Oh yeah.
I think you feel the same way. This sort of optimism for music in today's world.
Yeah, with the ability of nearly anyone to be able to create something, even with limited tools, there's quite a bit of power in what's accessible to people, in being able to reach an audience, and also just in being able to define for yourself what you want to do. I don't have to perform. That's great for me. I don't have to release a certain amount of things, but I'm also free to release a huge amount of things.
Right.
So I think we're just beginning to see the possibilities now that this new kind of openness and connectivity that the internet has given us is allowing for. I'll turn it so it happens more gradually.